Hello everybody, how you doing? This is the Crimson Face. Now, look at what we have here. I had this handmade by some Polish chaps in the city of Krakow, Poland, I believe that's how it's pronounced. This is handmade for me, made of vegetable tanned leather, very good quality leather and I love it. Lovely striking black leather with a crimson red seam, I think, like my name, or I don't know what kind of red you'd call that, but it's very nice. It's a very striking combination. Now, in case you're wondering what on earth you're looking at, this is well, first off, a coin purse. You know, well, you can see that, can't you? It's full of coins there, and the idea behind this is that the overall design of this, you've got that bulky like leather pouch here, the bulky pouch part there, and you've got it attached to a handle here with a bit of flex to it. American police forces over 100 years ago used to routinely carry what they called flat saps, and before it were blackjacks. Now they wouldn't be a coin purse like this. Turning them into a coin purse has been a more recent, like, modern invention. But it's the same kind of design, except for the ones that the police would carry, it would be all sealed off, of course. Like, there wouldn't be a zipper there. It would just have a fixed weight inside. So a fixed weight of either lead or steel, but most commonly steel, I believe, encased in leather. And there, as far as I know, there weren't really any like tasers or pepper spray or whatever back then, so this would be the first line of defense in terms of being a non-lethal tool against an assailant, perpetrator, that kind of thing, when they're out fighting crime. So they would use this as like a kosh, pummel, or cudgel, or whatever, if you will, to subdue, neutralize, or incapacitate temporarily their assailant, the criminal, the perpetrator, the person they're going after, presuming, of course, that such force is necessary, that they would have to use it. But yeah, that's what they would use it for. But this is before the invention of, like, the spring kosh or spring baton, you know, like the metal spring batons that, like, you see police all over the world, like, routinely carry today. Like, they didn't have those back then, so they had to rely on something like this. Like, there were other kind of truncheons around. There was a standard, like wooden, like, truncheon design that police in England in Victorian times would use, but they weren't popular everywhere else. But this kind of standard sap design really took off in the United States amongst police forces. And for what it is, it has a devastating amount of stopping power. Like, believe me, I've been able to cut apples clean in half using just the side there. And you can see it only has like a small indentation or two from doing that. So you would use the flat side against large muscle groups, and you would use the side part against bone, such as like the clavicle bone, the wrist, and so on and so forth. Clavicle bone being the collarbone. It only takes about 15 pounds of pressure, I believe, to break the clavicle bone, rendering the limb attached to it useless. So a very good way of incapacitating someone temporarily if needs be. But I'm just going to do a slight field test with you guys. I'm going to see if I put it through a couple of apples. There's no reason why I can't put it through this can of antiperspirant. Although this is made of metal, it is a thin metal, thin aluminium. And this is about £1.50 worth of steel shot at the end here, so presumably it should go right through. But let's just see if it does. Just get a good line of right through the middle there, maybe. Ooh. Don't think I was doing it as hard as I could do. Certainly got a big indentation in there. Let's go for a follow-up strike. Don't think I can get at that one, maybe because it's on the bed. Let's try one more time. Well, certainly hasn't gone right through it, has it? I don't know, maybe it's just... I mean, it's certainly more than I could do with my bare hand if I put it on the side like that, you know? Like that doesn't do anything, but with this, you know, there's enough weight and enough welly behind it. And the way that it works, because it's made of leather, of course, yeah, have that increase in velocity and momentum when striking. Yeah, I don't know about you, but certainly wouldn't appreciate that if that was round my temple. Yeah, like, that could kill you, which, to be honest, which is why when carrying these things, the police were instructed only to aim for large muscle groups, such as the thigh or the bicep. Because they knew that if you were to hit someone in the head with one of these, especially if you hit it from the side here with that reduced surface area, so all the strike force is concentrated in one specific square inch, that it could very easily kill them if you hit them in the thinnest part of the head. The thinnest part of the skull would be the temple. But yeah, these were gradually phased out from police forces in America. Not because they didn't work, because quite clearly they did, but because they were too effective is what they found. When MRI machines and CAT scans and all that were had been invented, it turned out that many victims of being struck over the head with one of these, whether by police or by criminals, because these were quite popular at the turn of the last century with like criminal vagabond types as well, and there were various designs that they used. But they found that they were suffering from brain damage and it was turning them into vegetables, basically. So they phased them out of it eventually. I mean, they were instructed only to go for the large muscle groups, as I said, but as we all know, there are always a few bad apples in the police, and those bad apples who were more corrupt or didn't care did aim for the head and might have ended up turning a few into a vegetable, or perhaps even killing a suspect or whatnot. So, and that's why they were eventually just phased out altogether. But yeah, it's an important piece of history, really. This is. They were in use for like a good couple of 100 years or so, and the very origin of this design, I'm not sure what you'd call it. I'd have to have a look, but definitely believe me, it was very effective, and would be more effective today in terms of that stopping power. Compared to spring kosh batons, like telescopic truncheons, that kind of thing. But because of the added potential for lethality while using this particular article item, that's why, again, they were phased out and replaced with the slightly less lethal spring koshes and batons. But yeah. This is a flat sap, and the blackjack, the handle would be the same. It would have a spring coil, make it a bit more sturdy. Not all of them had that though, and the body of it, the striking point, would be more of a cylindrical sausage kind of shaped. So kind of like the shape of a baton that you would get at the end as the striking head. but they were more lethal, which was why they changed it up to the flat sap, so it would have a bit of a softer impact, because the impact would be spread over a wider surface area. But even then, obviously, like, these were so effective, they had to phase these out eventually as well. But yeah, this is the Slapjack, as they called it, the leather Slapjack, and the Blackjack, a flat sap. There were special variants in design that came out throughout the United States throughout the years, like the Boston like leather Slapjack. And there was one from Denver, and there was one from Texas, I believe, as well. Texas 4-ply sap, and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's an interesting bit of history, and like, very much forgotten about. Most people don't know what they're looking at when they look at this. To them, it just it looks like a funky looking, I don't know, coin purse or something. Or as somebody else said to me, a adult hitting toy, let's put it that way. Which is kind of funny, but I get why maybe they'd think that. But they've had a resurgence with turning them into a coin purse, as you can see. And this makes it legal to carry, at least in the United Kingdom anyway, as Orwellian as our laws are here. And because it's just a fucking coin purse. There's nothing illegal about carrying a coin purse filled with coins, even though it has a handle attached to it. Otherwise, they would have to come up with an exhaustive list of items you're not allowed to carry on your person if they happen to have a handle attached to them, which means you could pick it up and hit someone with it, which would be ludicrous, of course. Like, they'd have to ban everything with a fucking handle. Like, you know what I mean? They'd have to ban handbags, because, like, you put stuff inside them, so it gives them weight, and women carry them, and they have handles attached to them, so, they could go around, like, smacking people with their handbags. But no, they can't do that, because that'd be ludicrous. So yeah, legal for that reason. But to everyone in the UK, like I will always say to you, like, yes, get one of these. Very, very effective at close quarters combat and self-defense if you need to, but don't ever say that you're carrying this for self-defense, because then the police here will nick you for carrying an offensive weapon, as they call it. And I don't really give a shit about the law, because my human rights come above the law of the land, and so do yours. You have a right to be able to physically repel your attacker, who is most likely going to be a violent criminal themselves, and may already be carrying something themselves, such as a knife or whatever anyway, so it's within your right to carry for your personal protection, if you ask me. The law is completely wrong and completely unjustified, and I feel like a lot of people in my country probably feel the same. But yeah, this is a beautifully handmade leather Slapjack, EDC Self-Defence coin purse, coin wallet, tactical coin wallet, or whatever you want to say, or whatever you want to call it, really. And it really does suit its purpose. Let's give it one more whack, actually, on the... Ooh, not nice. Anyway, yeah, barely a scratch on it, to be honest. But yeah, thank you for joining me, and see you another time.